welcome back to another episode of On the Mic. We have a special show lined up tonight, but first, tonight's episode is brought to you by Cornfield Fishing Gear. Make sure to check out their electronic mounting brackets, their forward-facing sonar mounting brackets, and trolling motor mounting brackets, as well as rod holders, plus a whole lot more. Go to cornfieldfishinggear.com and make sure you check them out. And Joe Burns Custom Rods. Call Joe at 423-618-9499. The most sensitive, the most powerful, the best backbone, the best rods on the market. All right, that's right. We have a special show lined up tonight. Joining us on the mic is VP of Corporate Sponsorship for the Bill Dance Giant Bass Opens. Brent Brady is joining the show. So we're not going to do any more talking. We're going to jump right into this week's episode of On the Mic with Brent Brady. We're on the mic with the Vice President of Corporate Sponsorship for the Bill Dance Giant Bass Open, Brent Brady. What is going on, Brent? How are you doing today, my man?
Norman, doing great, man. Good to hear from you. Thanks for having me on today. Hey, excited about this fall temperature starting to cool down. We're enjoying some great college football. Fishing is starting to get a little bit better. We're coming out of the dog days of summer, and hey, deer hunting's right around the corner. So it's coming into our favorite time of year as outdoorsmen, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It sure is, man. Brent, I want to jump right into it. Let's talk a little bit about the Bill Dance Giant Bass Open. Now, how did the tournament series get started? Where did the mindset come from, and how did the brain trust get going on kind of planning for this tournament series?
Yeah, Norman, great question. So Governor Lee, or Governor of Tennessee, said, you know what, I want to do something to promote tourism throughout the state of Tennessee. And he took a look at Governor Ivey in the state of Alabama. She had a great plan where she developed tourism by promoting golf courses throughout the state. And they developed the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail throughout the state of Alabama. And, so people that play golf can come there, stay, and play different courses throughout the entire state. And Governor Lee, being the outdoorsman he is, he said, that's awesome, but I want to do a similar model, but I want to use fishing as a vehicle to promote those tourism and the different counties and lakes throughout the state. And he said, you know what, who better than our elder statesman and someone that if you went to Mount Rushmore for professional bass fishermen, you would see Bill Dance's head definitely on that as
Yes,
one of the
sir.
most iconic pioneers of the sport. And of course he wears the iconic Power T hat, and so they named 14 Bill Dance signature lakes throughout the state of Tennessee, and using Bill name as the signature for it. And Bill said, okay, I would agree to that, but provided that you improve those fisheries both above and below the water. And so that's where they said, okay, give us some more overview of what you want to see done with those. And he said, first of all, these different lakes, they're all public access. I want to make sure of that. But the initiative is to improve habitat and fisheries, public access upgrades, so improving boat ramps and launch areas, marketing and branding to bring more people to the state, and overall just to make fishing better throughout the entire state. And so Bill has been involved with it since day one. It is incredible the amount of state agencies that have gotten involved. Besides, of course, Governor Bill Lee's office, the Tennessee Department of Tourism, Tennessee State Parks, TWRA, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, Bill Dance Outdoors, and many, many other corporate sponsors. But those are some of the government agencies that have come together to promote fishing across the entire country, but using the lakes here in Tennessee.
Yeah, now, how involved is that Bill Dance actually in the tournament series? Is he involved? Does he show up at any of the events?
Yeah, absolutely. And the cool thing about these tournaments, he does show up. He is still busy fishing and filming. And so these lakes are a big fish. The tournaments held on these lakes are a big fish format. And to learn more about these tournaments, you can go to www.BillDanceGiantBassOpen. to learn more about this information. And this whole tournament series is where the motto is where everyone fishes. So there, Norman, is an adult division and a youth division, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And so they're able to get anglers out on the lakes, and so they're able to fish lakes. For instance, this year's schedule has been Pickwick, Dale Hollow, Douglas, Kentucky Lake, and then the two remaining for this season that people can get involved with, October 11th and 12th, is on Lake Chickamauga out of Blue Water, and then November 1st and 2nd is out of Douglas. And so there's an opportunity to get involved there out of Dandridge. And so anglers compete. There's 8 places per hour, starting at 8 o'clock, going all the way to 3 o'clock. 8 places paid on the adult side and 8 places paid on the youth side.
That's
and then
awesome.
the exciting part is, overall, the adult that catches the biggest fish over 2 days on that weekend wins a brand new Bass Tracker Classic XL with a 50-horse Mercury on there, about a $19,000 value. So
That's insane, man.
And yeah, so that's what's so exciting is it's affordable. It's $200 entry fee for the adults and $100 for the youth. And man, what a great opportunity. And it's just one cast. You're only fishing for big fish, and that format sets up so well. There's even a non-scoping division for people that do not want to participate in scoping that we hear so much about these days. And so what a great way for family to get out and participate, both youth and adults.
That sounds insane. We're going to talk about Chickamauga, your next actually event coming up pretty soon. But I want to go back to the tournament format. The weigh-in format for this event's a really a unique format. If I'm right, you're actually doing 7 hourly weigh-ins. So you could actually weigh in 7 times throughout the entire tournament. Have a chance to put some corn in your pocket 7 different times throughout the day. And like you said, Brent, there's a junior and an adult division, but you're allowing 2 adults on the boat along with 1 junior. Am I correct?
That's correct. Or you could have two youth and 1 adult.
2 juniors, as long as
you
you
have a pontoon boat.
right.
One of the events where they had more anglers on there, so there's no limit on it as long as it's Coast Guard rated, of course.
Right.
But here's the cool thing about it, Norman. Anglers can launch anywhere on the lake. So if they're let's take Chickamauga, for example. This weigh-in up at Blue Water is up in Dayton, Tennessee. But say an angler wanted to put in on the lower end around Chester Frost Park, they could put in there, and then they are given a text that morning for lines in at safe daylight. And once they receive that, they can begin fishing. Well, then they will automatically get updates on their phones where they're able to monitor what the weights are being caught. So like you said, there's 7 different hours, and so let's say maybe I caught a 4.5 pounder in the first hour. Well, I'm starting to see the weights come in for, if I'm an adult and I'm watching those come in, and I'll say, you know what, maybe I don't want to weigh that fish. There's been several 4 pounders come in, and I know I'm not going to be up near the top this hour, so I can monitor that and wait till another hour to go weigh this fish. And another great opportunity, Norman, is anglers can either come by water or they can put the fish in a live well, keep it alive, and then trailer as well. And then there's polygraph tests given all throughout the day on both sides of the fence. And so it's just a wonderful thing. But, look, we only one cast. That's all it takes. And that's what's so exciting. But, what another crazy thing so far this year, we've had anglers fish in our tournaments in the state of Tennessee from 24 different states. Can you believe that?
Wow, that's insane, man. And another thing that's intriguing to me, Brent, is per hour you're paying 8 places per hour, but first place per hour in the adult division is $1,000. So you could literally, if you weigh in every hour, you actually have a chance to win $1,000 8 times if you weigh in and have big fish in each hour. So you could literally put some serious coin in your pocket for that, not that much entry fee. And the
That's
juniors
exactly.
first place 500, and again paying back 8 places per hour. That's insane. That is insane. Some insane money right there going back in your pockets.
Yeah, Norman, you fished a lot, and there's a different mentality of fishing a five fish limit on a team event versus a one fish. Because you're thinking about, hey, there's two partners, and a lot of times, say it's a family that's fishing, they think, we don't get a chance to stay on the water a lot and stay on top of fish, and we just can't compete with these guys and girls that get to go out and fish all the time. So, hey, you know what? But one cast, man, I can make a lucky cast
Yeah,
anytime and compete. And we try to make fishing fun again. That's us. That's what
exactly.
our creed that we live by. Norman is making this tournament fun and taking it to different bodies of water, enjoying getting youth away from these screens and out there fishing.
Yeah.
And so,
Yes.
um, man, what a great way! Our last event we had up at Kentucky Lake, we had close to 350 anglers fish with us, and I think we had on that particular event we had 14 different states represented.
Wow.
So, to learn more about us, come on out to giantbassopen.com, and you can get registered for this upcoming October 11th event
Yep.
on Chickamauga, or first week of November we are headed to Douglas. So
Yep. And it's great to try to get the youth involved as well, because I've said many times before, the youth is our future. The youth of our sport today is the future, and some of these kids today could fish, and they could fish. They could compete with the adults in a lot of cases. So we got some really really great juniors coming up in our sport. But you had mentioned earlier, as far as the big bass of the tournament, you're giving away a bass Trucker Classic XL to the adult. But the juniors also, big bass of the tournament's $1,500 for the junior division. Man, when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, if I had $1,500 in my pocket, I would be a millionaire in my mind when I was that age. So, $1,500 for the junior if you're big bass of the year of the tournament. So that's insane money for the kids as well. So it's great to see what you do and try not only getting the adults out there, but getting the youth, getting the juniors, and like you say, get the kids out of the house, man. Introduce them young to the outdoors, because that's what it's all about. Getting our younger anglers or our younger kids involved with outdoors, whether it be hunting, whether it be fishing, whether it just be hiking in the woods. Man, let's get them outdoors and get them involved in nature.
Absolutely, Norman. And that's a great segue. You and I had a great conversation down at ICAST this
Yes.
summer in Orlando, and we talked about, hey, I actually, Norman, I've hung up my traveling days of fishing on BASS and not traveling all over the country anymore. And I've been the last few years, I've been a high school coach myself, and one of the biggest challenges we face is being able to get the youth out on the water, because maybe we don't have enough boats, right? We
Yeah.
don't. We've got more non-boaters than we do, and we're trying to introduce youth to fishing. And so we kept getting requests about, hey, when are you going to bring a GBO event to our part of the country? When are you going to do this? And so we sat down with Bill and had some really lengthy conversations, and we've come up with a new format. It's called the Bill Dance Giant Bass Open Nationwide Tournaments, and the entry fee is $44.99. That's right,
Wow.
$44.99 for an entire 12 months. And how it works is anglers are allowed to fish from any public waterway. They can fish from the bank, from a kayak, or in a boat. They catch a fish. They can have a choice to either weigh it or measure it. There's two different divisions, and they have a identifier code that each person's assigned when they register. And so, like right now, the month of September, the competition is going on. And if they say, let's go back, let's say we call it a 4 pound, 2 ounce fish, you would take a picture of that fish on the scale, and you would be able to have that identifier with it, so that it would recognize, in your case, Norman, you would have a identifier that would be exclusive to you, and you would weigh that fish in, and then you start competing against anglers from your region all over the country. We have 5 different regions: a northeast, a central, a southeast, and a west. And then, Norman, because the fish grow so big in your part of the country where you're from in Florida, we pulled Florida, Texas, and California out, and they compete on their own because of the Florida strain fish
Right.
and the larger growing season. So that, say, somebody from North Dakota is not competing against someone in Florida for that particular regional prize. But you can register a fish as many times as you want to in a month, and then we have those winners each month, and it all depends on the amount of anglers that fish, about the prizes. But each region prize, when we get up to 1,000, is going to be $250 per person. So you're only paying $44.99, and that's for an entire year. But the cool thing about it is you can go anytime, any place. You can even be fishing another tournament and take that fish out of the live well, take a picture of it, weigh it, and send it in, and actually register for the same fish for 2 different tournaments. And so to learn more about this, you go to gbonationwide.com or go on to Fishing Chaos. If you go to our website, GBO Nationwide, it'll take you down the bottom of registration to Fishing Chaos to register. But what a great format. We have a proprietary software that also makes sure that the fish weighs what it says it'll weigh, or is the exact length, and is able to do that simply by a picture. And so we couldn't be more excited about getting people across the entire country fishing. I think right now we're up to around 40 different states that have registered, and we just launched it in July down at ICAST, and we're excited about that because it gives youth a chance that doesn't have a boat or somebody wants to get into fishing. As long as they're fishing from a public waterway, they can go fish off a bank or take a kayak out and enter a fish just like they would if they were in a boat.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we'll put the link and the website for the nationwide tournament series on the description of this episode as well. You had mentioned a little bit ago about the new rule, the forward-facing sonar rule for 2025. How does that rule work? Is basically all the events no forward-facing sonar, or how is that rule? How does that rule work?
Yeah, so great question, Norman. So let's go back to our giant bass opens, which those are our physical events, right? That are held only. You're going to show up in a boat, and those they're different than the nationwide. And so there is a forward-facing sonar optional side pot, and it's only $25 per day. It's a winner-take-all on daily with a 90% payback on those. And what's cool about that is, so when you register, you can say if you want to compete in the not using forward-facing sonar. And so you say, well, how do you ensure that happens? Anyone that wins money in that particular division, we have a polygraph test that we give. We ask the anglers to disconnect their forward-facing sonar or either totally take it off the boat. But if they do weigh in a large enough fish to get paid on, we're going to administer a polygraph test with that person to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And that way, someone that's maybe A, might not be able to afford some of this new equipment, or B, they're just not as proficient with it, they didn't get a chance to spend so much time on the water, they can compete in this big fish format, but in a traditional manner, right? They can still use down imaging and side imaging, just can't use forward-facing sonar.
Man, that's awesome, man. And keep in mind, everybody, your next coming up events, October 11th and 12th on Lake Chickamauga, going out of Blue Water Resort and Marina. Where could our viewers go on to register for that event?
Yeah, great question, Norman. GiantBassOpen.com. GiantBassOpen.com. Go on there and get signed up. It's going to be a great tournament. You can fish one day or you can fish 2 days. But the great thing about it, in our adult division, someone's going to take home a brand new Bass Tracker, Classic XL, and then our youth can participate, only fishing against anyone from high school and younger. and it's just going to be an exciting event. Great fall fishing. Hey, you should have some. I know you're familiar with this down being from Florida, but there should be some great frog fishing going
Oh
on down
yeah,
there then,
yeah,
and Norman. So come tell people to come on out and hey, let's go ahead and enjoy some great fall fishing
yeah.
and get out there and win some money while you're doing it. Right?
That's right. Social media. If people want to follow the Bill Dance Giant Bass Open, where can people go on social media platforms, and how can they follow Bill Dance Giant Bass Open?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. The cool thing also when they register on Fishing Chaos, that is our particular software that we use that handles all of our weights and everything, and so they can submit their fish on there both for the nationwide as well as the Giant Bass Open. So what's cool is when they register, if they're register on both sides, they're able to catch a fish and register it, and it'll take it to both tournaments. But man, we would love people come on out. We make fishing fun. Our tournaments are not just like cattle running through a turnstile. We have all kind of fun things that we do throughout the day. It's just a festive atmosphere, and we just celebrate people getting out and enjoying the great outdoors, and hopefully getting off of these computers and cell phones and getting out there and making some casts in the great outdoors.
Amen on that, Brent. Amen on that, man. Well, Brent, thank you so much for joining us on the mic today. And again, you got to get on their website, and we're going to have all the links to the website. We're going to have all the links to the social media accounts as well on the description of this episode. But get out and register for the next upcoming event on Lake Chickamauga, October 11th and 12th, going out of Blue Water Resort and Marina. It's a fun time. Get out, bring the kids, and register for this event. But Brent, man, it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure getting a chance to talk to you, and I look forward to. I'm going to try my best, depending on what my schedule looks like for the 11th and 12th. I'm going to try my best one of those 2 days to get out and visit with you guys there at the Big Bass Open on Chickamauga and check it out as well. So hopefully I could see you there, Brent, one of those 2 days. But once again, Brent, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure, and good luck with the tournament series finishing out this year, and again going into next year too.
Absolutely, and we'll be posting our 26 schedule. We've got all the dates and everything. We just haven't released it yet, so we look forward to making plans to come see us and come out to an event and join us. It's a lot of fun, and it's something that we try to make fishing fun again, and it only takes one cast at the Bill Dance Giant Bass Opens.
That's it, man. Just one cast to put some coin in your pocket. But anyway, Brent, thanks again, brother. And until next time, we will see everybody on the water. Brent, thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks, Norman.
Yep. Thanks for watching this week's episode of On the Mic with Brent Brady. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Norman Lee Fishing. This week's episode brought to you by Cornfield Fishing Gear and Joe Burns Rods. On the Mic is an NLF production.